So, you guys might know that Sony is a company I tend to cover quite a bit, or not even just cover, they're a company where I'm always bumping into their news, whether it be things like their Sony cameras, or I don't really cover this as much, but things like their PlayStation. I mean, I don't really talk about PlayStation only because the only PlayStation consoles I own are the PSP and Vita. I wished I had a PS4. The games look pretty cool, but hey, I don't. Money doesn't grow on trees, so all I can do is just sit back, act, respect it, and just remember that I suck at Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, I played the game once at Steven's house, and it's so weird. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier than it looks, but nope, 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 no, 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 no. No, killing those beasts is a lot more complicated than gameplay footage will make it look. So, if you guys are uninitiated and you want to get, I know they're coming out with the Shadow of the Colossus remake. You better get ready. So, I don't know. It's so weird how, like, I always kind of like how, as a person who covers cameras, smartphones, and video games, that I can, look at a company that's able to make these kind of products and do them pretty successfully, even though in recent years, except for PlayStation, Sony hasn't exactly been in the best place, and smartphones is no exception. They're not exactly the most well-known bunch in the smartphone world, which is a shame because I always felt like their smartphones have a lot of potential. In fact, I thought about getting one of the Sony Xperia X phones for my mom, but at the time the Blue R1 HD was out, and I bought it instead because it was a good price. And my mom isn't really a power user, so she didn't really need the latest. But I like Sony's phones, and it's just the biggest problem with Sony is just the smartphone market is so flooded, and when you don't really have like really standout features, a really big good company like Sony can easily fall into just being known as, oh hey, another smartphone maker. I mean, you make good screens, but I want either like a OnePlus phone which is cheap and has plenty of features, or a well-known brand like Apple or Samsung. So it's a real shame. And with the XZ2 and the XZ2 Compact, which are the two new flagships that Sony has brought to CES, it looks like they're trying to change it. Although they could have added a few more features to make these phones more compelling. So, what are the XZ2 and XZ2 Compact? Which, by the way, I'm still really trying to get used to the fact that we no longer call Sony's Xperia phones, their flagships, the Z's phones. They're now called, the X series. So, anyway, so the XZ2 has a 5.7-inch HDR LCD Full HD Plus display with an 18:9 aspect ratio, kind of like the LG G6. Which, the interesting thing is, while I technically prefer LCD because they're more color accurate, when it comes to HDR, LCD isn't really the best choice, because the idea behind HDR is that, without getting too technical, it basically evens out the lighting so that, colors are more vibrant, the highlights aren't too bright, they're super detailed, as are these shadows. So that's why OLED or AMOLED screens tend to use HDR the best, because they're a lot more vibrant and colorful, and they can reach those really deep blacks. Like they can make really dark spots on the image look as dark as possible, because OLED and AMOLED screens don't have a backlight to go through. So it is really weird though, because I know Sony has experimented with OLED hit in the past, like things like their PlayStation Vita. The original one had an OLED screen, so and they're now coming out with a phone which is pretty competitively priced with it may have an HDR capable screen, and the phone itself, Sony says, is even able to convert movies that aren't suited for HDR into high dynamic range movies. So I don't know. It's really kind of strange that they didn't go with OLED or AMOLED in this kind of a case, especially since you can get phones with AMOLED. I keep going back and forth between AMOLED and AMOLED, but I'm just getting tongue-tied. I'll just say AMOLED. It's really weird how they didn't go with an AMOLED phone, especially at this price range. But if they wanted to go with more color accuracy, I guess I could understand. Although, why would you suit your phone for HDR if that were the case? But I think it could still be a good screen. I will say that the screen on both the XZ2 and XZ2 Compact, it's not like on the Galaxy S9 where the screen takes up the majority. It's not a super bezel-less design. There is still a little bit of a bezel on the top and the bottom, so I personally don't mind that. But if you have, if you would prefer a phone that where the screen takes up the majority of the front, this may not be the best choice for you. The good news is the XZ2 and XZ2 Compact actually have really top-notch specs. It is running Android Oreo on top of Sony's interface, obviously, and they both have the Snapdragon 845 processor, and both phones have a 19 megapixel camera with an f2 aperture, not the brightest, but still a really nice aperture. And the thing about this camera is that it can shoot 960 frames per second in full 1080p. So it actually bests out the Samsung Galaxy S9 because the S9 can only record 960 frame per second slow motion video at 720p. And the really interesting thing about these cameras, and I would really like to see test footage, is that both the cameras can actually shoot at ISO 51,200 for stills and 12,800 for video. So 12,800 for video is pretty high, but for a cell phone camera, I would expect that to be like the maximum. But 51,200, that's like what DSLRs can get up to. Like entry-level DSLRs tend to have ISOs from 25,600 or 51,200. And since the smartphone camera are smaller, and in the XZ2 the smartphone sensor is around the same size as you would get in the point and shoot, I would really like to see how photos look at that high of an ISO. Obviously, you're not going to want to shoot at that high of an ISO, but I'm just amazed that Sony would let it get up that high. So, I don't know, that's kind of interesting. Both phones have 64 gigabytes of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM. I kind of wish it went to 6 gigabytes, but I guess Sony decided to hold back. It does have a micro SD card slot, which can take up to 400 gigabytes of extra storage, just like the Galaxy S9. I really find it weird how a lot of smartphone manufacturers are holding it back. And I know the reason is because they hold it back because the most you can get on even like a regular SD card is currently 512 gigabytes, and those cards are expensive. But strangely enough, devices like the Nintendo Switch and even some of the LG V series phones can go up to 2 terabytes of storage for future-proofing. So I think that's really strange, especially if you want to hold on to this phone for, as long as it lasts and you don't care about switching every year. I kind of wish Sony would just go ahead and future-proof it and let it go up to 2 terabytes. I mean, if the Switch can do it, how come, smartphones that are way more expensive can't? I don't know, not a big deal, but it's really kind of interesting. And the really cool part, going back to the camera for a second, is that it can not only shoot 4K video, but actually it could actually shoot in 4K HDR. So obviously it's not going to look as nice as HDR video from like a Red camera. Let's not even get into a debate about that. And there goes my phone. But unlike something like, I know 4K on smartphones is kind of gimmicky, like it kind of just looks like 1080p footage. But the nice thing, like I mentioned before, is that because it's HDR, the colors will really pop and the lighting will look super even. So that's something you can definitely benefit from from with HDR video, because it's not really a resolution thing. It's more of a lighting technique. It's the way the camera captures the footage. So whether it's on a smartphone or a really pricey camera, you should notice a difference, I should say. And the XZ2, I may have mentioned it before, has a Snapdragon 845 processor, just like the Galaxy S9 and the Asus Zenfone 5X that I talked about a little while ago. One of the more gimmicky features, well, one of two, we'll get into the second one in a second, is that the XZ2 phones have this dynamic vibration system, which basically what happens is that the smartphone rumbles like when you're watching a movie in the same, like to the beat of like the movie you're watching. So that's really weird. Like I know 4D movies work like that, but I don't really know if people are going to utilize that. And to me, when I hear about a feature like that, the first thing that comes to mind is battery life, because your phone is going to be shaking quite a bit. Like, especially like, what if you're watching like an action scene and there's lots of like guns firing and there is the really loud pumped up music? Like, what if like you're watching one of those and like your phone just feels like it's having like an earthquake? I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a gimmicky feature. I'm not really sure if people are going to use that. Now, here's one of the creepier features, and I'm just like, it just gets creepier and creepier when it comes to these smartphone manufacturers and their machine learning. They're trying to put machine learning on emojis. Well, Sony, what they want to do is they want to like 3D scan your face, although in the way they show it, it's not like on an iPhone 10 where you can just spin your head around. They want it to have where like you would have another person scan your face, but they would actually like, move around your face, if you know what I mean. And this would let you post your face on like a cartoon avatar, or you could send the scan to a friend, or you could even 3D print it. I'm not gonna lie, when I watched the demonstration video, which I might include footage here, I actually like screamed out loud. I was so freaked out. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just like, I mean, machine learning is a really cool idea, but when it comes to our emojis, can't we leave emojis alone? I mean, other than adding new ones, like, why do we have to do a thing where, like, scan your face, make it into an emoji on an iPhone, or a creepy me character on the new Samsung Galaxy S9, or 3D printing it on top of a birthday cake? I mean, seriously, I'm surprised that the girl in the video wasn't, like, freaking out. I mean, it's just so weird. I mean, if you want to see more from that, go watch the video yourself, but I am not going to use that feature if I ever get my hands on the XZ2. And so, anyway, let's come back down to planet Earth. Whew. Okay, so, and also the XZ2 will have glass on the front and the back, just like modern smartphones. Yay. More fragile, I guess. I really find it weird how, like, glass, I mean, it definitely feels much better than something like plastic, but it's also more fragile. Like, I've owned plastic phones over the years, like the Nexus 5X and my LG Ultimate 2, and when you drop those on the ground, they don't shatter, I mean, I shattered the screen on my LG Ultimate 2, but it's like, plastic may get scratched up, but it doesn't shatter when you drop it, whereas with glass, it's glass. So, I don't know. Do you guys consider glass a premium feature? I mean, just go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And in case, well, actually, before we get to the compact, The XZ2 is classified both IP65 and IP68, which is really weird. Why isn't it classified as strictly IP68? It should obviously still work, you know, if you accidentally like drop it in the sink or if it plops in your pool. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird that it's not full IP68 like other flagship smartphones. And in case you're wondering, the difference between the XZ2 and the Compact is that the XZ2 Compact has a 5-inch HDR LCD display. So that's the main difference there. I don't have US pricing for the XZ2 phones, but I did I do have here that the XZ2 will cost £699 and the Compact will cost £549 and it will be released next month. So for comparison's sake, I looked up the price of the original XZ1 on Best Buy's website, and the XZ1 currently speaking costs $600 and the XZ1 is $500. So overall, I think the XZ2, it kind of goes back into what I was saying about Asus, where the problem is when smartphone manufacturers release phones of this pricing. Unfortunately, nowadays, there's a lot of competition with more affordable phones with modern specs, you know, with players like ZTE and OnePlus. And then you also have the more expensive competitors like Samsung and Apple. And when you're caught in between that kind of a crossfire, it's very difficult to succeed. And even though Sony's smartphones are a mark of quality, like, don't get me wrong, I think this is a really good sounding phone. I'm not really sure if it's going to make waves in the smartphone industry. I feel like in the eyes of the consumers, Sony just seems like any other electronics brand, you know. I still see Sony as a legitimate electronics company, not just in smartphones, but I also like their cameras, and like I said, I do like their PlayStation brand. And I'm pretty sure the XZ2 and the XZ2 Compact are going to be really good phones. It's just that in the competitive space, unfortunately, they might get glanced over in favor of phones from other manufacturers, whether it be companies that make more affordable phones or companies that make more expensive phones, but they have the brand equity to make them successful. So yeah, so alright guys, this has been Blood Moon Mobby. I'm continuing my Mobile World Congress coverage, so please subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.